sure?
Yeah.
Are you really sure?
Yeah.
Really, really sure?
Very
I've
sure.
Positive?
Very positive.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight, Middle Earth Edition. Now, as any honest and decent person knows, Sauron is not a figure to be taken unconcernedly. This wasn't up for debate even a few years ago, but all of a sudden, you've got militarized Nazgul patrolling the Shire and threatening the ability of its citizens to travel freely. So why are some of Middle-earth's residents, namely Saruman the White, signing off on it? What's really going on here? 4 unassuming hobbits, not warriors, not politicians, are embarking on a journey that would daunt even the most seasoned adventurers. Why? Because when the fabric of freedom is threatened, it's the duty of every citizen to stand up to tyranny. Period. When did we forget how to say, well, actually, no, you can't just enslave the whole world. Sorry, that's not how things work. And let's be clear, these hobbits aren't delusional. They don't believe they can defeat such darkness on their own. But we all get the sense that they understand that standing up to evil, no matter how insurmountable it seems, is what separates the moral from the cowardly. Anyone with a pulse and 2 brain cells can't help but feel inspired by a story like this. Courage isn't just a word. It's the pillar on which every civilization worth remembering is built upon. The moment we forget that is the moment that evil wins.
These are daggers dropped by my men that were slaughtered by an ice troll in the Second Age. But I do not like to talk of such things. And for you, Legolas, this is a new bow, so that you may kill a troll as quickly as I did, in under 10 seconds. And for Samwise Gamgee, rope forged from the hair of an ice troll that I killed many years ago. And for Frodo, the bottled tears of an ice troll. Did I mention I killed an ice troll many years ago? In under 10 seconds? Fare thee well, my friends, and may these gifts forged from the body of an ice troll that I killed many years ago in the Second Age in under 10 seconds. Fare you well on your journey.
Salon Selectives presents hair so beautiful you feel like you just stepped out of a salon.
Salon shine, Salon Selectives, Salon glow, Salon Selectives.
Introducing Salon Selectives, new from Helene Curtis. 4 salon shampoos, 4 salon conditioners. You select the combination that will give you salon beautiful hair.
Salon style.
Feel salon beautiful every day.
Salon Selectives.
The Young and the Restless. This portion sponsored by Oil of Olay.
Hi.
What's up? Get wrecked,
Wow.
you godforsaken demon. So good. Oh, I love the Theoden male vitality stack commercial in there. That was golden.
Patriot stack. I love it. I love it.
Patriot stack. What's up? Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I come from my mom's vagina, and this is a show on Hump Day called the Nooner. Total accident, but everybody needs a Nooner. What's up, Chris Gore?
I'm doing good, Gary. Good to see you both. You and X-Ray Girl with her X-ray specs. Not often you get to see her in glasses.
I see everything with this on.
No, happy to hear that. I like that Tucker Carlson. Like that was great. I've not seen that. That was awesome. I love
You
it.
haven't seen that one? Oh man, I played that a bunch of times. That one's brilliant.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I missed. But,
hello. Wait.
People,
Extra agu.
hello. I'm excited for this week because I get to see aliens kill diversity.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. Well,
That-
we'll find out. I haven't watched it
That's
yet.
the selling point for Alien Romulus or Alien 1.5. Or can we get anything out of this franchise anymore in a time where James Cameron says he's going to work on another effing Terminator and told anybody geeking out over 4K to get out of your mom's basement. What a freaking idiot. I mean, those 5 alimony payments he has to push out must be just getting to him. Hail to the male feminist and 5-time divorcee, James Cameron. Story writer of Dark Fate, probably one of the worst desecrations of any lore I've ever seen. And we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot, including what dropped today. The Rings of Power, I guess, is the real trailer, the real trailer. We've gotten a couple, but this is the one where it shows all the battles, because we're going to have battles that don't make any sense and they're in the wrong time, and we have a bunch of people interacting with each other that never should have from the lore. They're literally thousands of years apart, but they're all hanging out. Guy Ladriel going to war again. Where's Celeborn?
I haven't.
Where's
seen it.
Celebrian?
I haven't seen this trailer, so I'm not excited.
We're going to see it. Apparently, Amazon is. They haven't in the past, but apparently they're hitting people who show the trailer. I say, bring that shit on. Bring it on. I'll beat you. I will make it very transformative. And Chris will too. Maybe even
we'll
X-Ray Girl. We'll pause.
every 5 seconds.
We'll
Lots
pause
of pauses.
and cringe. I'm sure. But yeah, and then a Kraven the Hunter trailer came out. I don't even know if we could show it. It's pretty gory. I don't know if they showed it as a red band, but yeah, YouTube doesn't like the blood. But that came out, the much anticipated Kraven the Hunter film that's been delayed like 4 times. It's coming out this Christmas. And Chris has seen Alien Romulus. He will give you his spoiler-free general. We can't even call it a review. We'll call it a reaction.
Yeah.
We'll call it a reaction.
Yeah.
A reaction. And then give you what?
I'll give you that, Gary.
Oh,
It's coming.
sorry.
I'll give it to you.
Ooh.
I'll give it to everyone.
Wow, he's a married man.
I was watching Daily today, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Apparently, and this is tragic, some poor woman was eating at Disney World, and they put peanuts and something in her meal, and she specifically said, "I am deathly allergic to these." She dropped dead after eating it. They sued Disney, and I cannot believe this is real, because her husband signed up for Disney Plus. There's something in the fine print that if you sue Disney, you have to go to their arbitration.
Yeah, I was watching, or I was listening to Daily on my daily walk, and I could not believe it. That should be a huge story. I cannot believe that, because no one reads TOS. No one reads terms of service ever. As
No.
anyone, you skim it sometimes because they make you scroll to the bottom. But if they are going to overreach with that, and this woman, from what I understand, they said, yeah, a lot of restaurants have the allergy-free menu.
Yeah.
She ordered the food and died. And this is the humiliation they're putting this poor widow through, this man. Like, it's disgusting. I mean, if you don't already have enough reasons to dislike Disney, this is another one.
This
It's
is
disgusting.
the entirety of why they jump on this DEI, diversity, globalism train, is to deflect from the evil things that they do.
Right.
Aside from covering up Chadwick Boseman's face on the poster for Black Panther for China, or shrinking Finn on the Force Awakens poster for China, thanking a fucking concentration camp in China in their freaking movie that's still there on the credits. But no, as Bob Iger says, he is fighting a fight that's more important than what Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were doing in the 60s. This is a much more important fight. This isn't political, according to Bob Iger. It's about right and wrong. It's about right and wrong. Please don't look into who we do business with to make our merchandise. Please don't look at the 4-year-old girl chained to a table, making a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, getting a penny a day. Please don't look at these things. That's why these companies do this. They don't care. They never have. They don't care about your cause, by the way. Any person, any group of a community out there who thinks Disney is championing us, they will drop you like a bad habit soon as they seem it feasible for them economically. They don't care. Never did care. And now this happens. Like, I have to look into the details. They did a great job on Geeks and Gamers Daily cover it. I'm just like, this needs to be, if this is true, this needs to be much bigger news. This needs to be all over the place. Because basically the response is, we're really sorry your wife died, but you can't sue us because you signed up for Disney Plus. Another reason not to sign up for Disney Plus. But you know what? Amazon Prime probably has it too. Max probably has it too. I call on the power of internet autism to go look and find through the fine print if any of these things are there. And it can't be legal. I know in some states they do they do limit what you could put in fine print. I don't know if it's every state. I have no idea. I'm not a lawyer. So I don't know, but we'll definitely look into that because that is insane.
I put the link in the private if you want to look at the story. It's from BBC.com.
Yeah.
But they're using the term. This could then apply to any death. Like if this is the barometer, this is any death, right?
Remember, Chris,
crazy.
Remember, up until recently, there had never been a death at Disneyland. Did you know that, Chris?
Correct.
Never, ever. Except for all the deaths they covered up. Except for the woman's head that they found at the bottom of the Matterhorn. There's a book on that. Somebody sent it to me too. There's an old book on all the dark side of Disneyland. This is from back in like the 90s or something like that. So this is Disney. D+ terms prevent allergy death lawsuit, Disney says.
Right.
Disney says. And did nobody think that optically this might not look very good? I mean, just fucking pay the man. Yeah. Just pay the man. This is going to cost you. This is the problem when you have an entertainment company in charge of lots of information. It's not just entertainment, folks. It's information. They own ABC. They own ESPN. These are all, even one is sports. Sports has definitely been used as a political tool of propaganda. ESPN has. ABC, same thing. This is the problem you have when you have these giant corporations that can protect themselves quite easily. Disney is arguing a man cannot sue it over the death of his wife because of the terms he signed up for a free trial of D+.
That's crazy.
Isn't Eternals on D+? I thought it was supposed to save lives, not cost them. By the way, Eternals 2 sequel's been trashed. We'll talk about that later too. Jeffrey Piccolo filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Disney after his wife died in 2023 from a severe allergic reaction after eating at a restaurant at the theme park. However, Disney argues its terms of use, which Mr. Piccolo agreed to when creating his Disney account in 2019, means they have to settle out of court. Representatives for Disney and Jeffrey Piccolo have been contacted for comment. Mr. Piccolo alleges that the restaurant at Disney World in Orlando, Florida, that he and his wife dined at did not take enough care over her severe allergies to dairy and nuts, despite being repeatedly told about them. Dr. Canuck porn. I'm just
Yeah, give it a shot.
I'm going to say Dr. K died in a hospital later that day, 5th of October, 2023. According to the legal filing, her death was confirmed by medical examiner as a result of asphyxiation due to elevated levels of dairy and nut in her system. He is suing Disney for a sum of excess of $50,000 plus legal costs. I'd be suing for more than that.
That would be way more. Yeah.
I'd be suing for way more than that.
Especially repeated tellings that she's allergic.
Disney wants the case in courts to be halted and for the dispute to be resolved out of court in a process called arbitration. Yes, we know. The entertainment company argues it cannot be taken to court because of the terms of service. It says they agreed to settle any disputes with the company via arbitration. Disney adds that Mr. Piccola accepted the terms, again, when using his Disney account to buy tickets for the theme park in 2023. What pieces of shit. Borders on surreal. It really does. But this is the world we live in today. Chris.
Well, you remember, this is not the first time they've had these. Do you remember when this is in the 90s, they were suing like preschools that had a mural with like Disney characters?
Yes.
Do you remember that? That was 30 years ago.
Remember the guy who wanted Spider-Man on his kid's headstone? That was 2019.
Oh, I don't remember.
And they wouldn't let him.
Wow.
God. It's just, here's what's horrible about this. We've all, if you signed up even for the trial and never paid, you agreed to these terms. That means everyone is going to have to abide by these terms if anything happens with Disney. It's horrible. I feel damaged by watching The Acolyte.
Yeah.
I want damages.
I want reparations for watching The Acolyte.
Sue them for wrongful death of Star Wars. That's yeah. I've kind of beat that to death with a trial and then a funeral, but we could take it further, maybe a lawsuit.
I got a video coming out in a month or two about all that. Yeah, I do. You know about it.
Oh yeah.
You're going to be one of the brain trusts that I will be using. But this is Disney. You're right. Somebody brought up the poor kid and the alligator, which is just, I don't even like thinking about that. That's horrible.
Yeah, that is a nightmare. It's the only thing I fear is something happening to my kids and nothing else.
Yeah. Well, there's a really easy way to do that. Don't take your kids to Disneyland or Disney World. Just don't.
That was strange in the sense that, like, I mean, were there preventative measures? What did they, it's just the thought of it. It's literally a nightmare to think about.
Yeah.
Your child going through that kind of pain.
Yep.
It's horrible.
Holy crap. Okay, so Mr. Piccolo's lawyers called Disney's argument preposterous and it says inane. I would say insane.
Yeah.
I would say insane, but it says inane. They say Disney's case is based on an incredible argument that any person who signs up for Disney Plus account, even free trials that are not extended to beyond the trial period, will be forever waived the right to a jury trial. I would challenge him to. I've had to sign a couple of NDAs that in Hollywood that just say impertinent until you die, and it's like, no, I'll sign it, but I'm gonna blab about it after a couple of years, and I have nothing's happened. So
I've read contracts that I've signed for doing TV work, and it's so weird because even like my whatever manager at the time said, don't sign this. They can use your image on merch. I'm like, no one cares about my face on merch. I don't care. But they say in the known universe, like they mention platforms and like
I will challenge that in court, by the way, because of CERN, but go on.
Yeah, but they say platforms and platforms not invented yet. So it's like DVD, Blu-ray, and anything else they might invent, like any other platform. It's so overreaching. It's to the point of ridiculousness.
Yes. Your imagination will now be litigated. That's a platform now, is your inner thoughts.
I would read those contracts and I would look at them and say, the only thing I cared about is what's my obligation, how much I'm getting paid. That was it.
And when.
Yeah, and when everything else was BS. Everything was BS, gobbledygook. So, but this is sick. This is sick. I hope this gets a lot of attention. So,
thank you for the underrated CERN joke. Said cheers. Cheers out there. So yeah, this is disgusting, but this is Disney, and there's so many people who champion for this company. It's incredible, but they're pissing everybody off now, Chris. And I don't know much about the parks, but they're getting rid of Tom Sawyer Island. Now I grew up in Southern California, so Tom Sawyer Island was like when you're a little kid, it was like the one place you can go and have tons of fun. Like, cause like when you're small, you can't go on most of the rides, right? But Tom Sawyer Island's like a giant playground, and it was freaking cool. And it's right next to it's in this little bay, little man-made bay that's right next to Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion, and it was great. So I guess they're going to get rid of that in Disney World, which I've never been to, when they have plenty of space to keep it. So they're getting rid of it for politically correct reasons, and they're trying to wipe out Walt's existence from they'll drop the Walt someday. I mean, they kind of have, but they'll definitely drop the Walt someday. Walt Disney would hate all the shit. He would hate Bob Iger. Now, they're also changing a bunch of other things around. So when they got rid of Splash Mountain, nobody was that upset. Apparently, I forgot what took its place, and I don't care. Apparently, it hasn't been working for a few days. It's just a mess. They're an absolute mess. And this I'll blame Chapek for, because Chapek was in charge of the parks for a lot of time, and he was known as Cheapik. And Clownfish covered this a lot back in the day. So he effed up a lot. And in the meantime, as a lot of people have talking about, Universal is just stealing their market share. And when more Harry Potter stuff opens and Nintendo stuff opens, those are two relevant IPs that haven't been completely destroyed and are like, I would argue right now, I don't think I'm wrong, Harry Potter is more popular than Star Wars.
Oh, right. Today, yes.
By a long shot. By a long shot. So much for canceling J.K. Rowling. It's the millennial Star Wars. Whether you like it or not, it is. Dude, I saw that Ministry of Magic. That looks fucking awesome. That looks awesome. And so you'll have that, and it's just going to dig in more. And we saw the stock is still down. It's below 90, and it's below 90. They have $2 billion movies in the box office, which tells you how little that has to do with the company, which is nothing. Just the comic books, people talk about turning around the comic books. They're pamphlets. They're advertising. They're a loss leader. They can practically write them off all as promotion at this point because they're not making any money. The movies are going that way too. You think of a couple $1 billion films. Some people are excited about Alien. Yes. Disney's kind of taken advantage of that $72 billion buy-in to Fox, which they'll never get out from under, by the way. Technically, it's not a profitable company. They're in so much fucking debt compared to their profit. It's not a profitable company, but corporate America these days, when companies get so big, it's just a giant shell game, but whatever. Their stock is still sinking because people are genuine. The bankers are concerned about the parks. The low information assholes and idiots who fucking voted for Iger to stay in office are now, what are we going to do? Well, you had a chance to do something and you didn't. So you get what you deserve on that one.
So yeah, I listen to G&G Daily every day. I get Jay. He's really good at the park coverage.
Yes, he is.
Gotta give him credit. And the incompetency across the board is turning Disney parks into the next Six Flags, which, if you know Southern California, Six Flags is considered like the ghetto theme park. It's super ghetto. Like, there's always fights breaking out. The rides are not reliable. If you go there, there are drunken high people. I mean, it's Disney is going that way, and it's
And there was a
seems-
time more people wanted to go to Magic Mountain than Disneyland when you were
Right,
when you were a teenager because it had scary rides, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're talking in the 80s when the scariest ride at Disneyland was like Space Mountain, you know.
Yeah, so this is it's you see constant across the board. Rides break down, bad customer service, just horrible experiences, and this will only add to that mountain. Now, let's put this in context to what just happened last weekend, D23.
Oh,
They
yeah.
should have-
Wait,
they should
I have a sound effect for that, Chris. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah. I was there, dude. Okay, so by the way, FNT was amazing. I was
Thank you.
listening to FNT. Kurt Metzger was off. He was
I
amazing.
love Kerp.
He was
Kerp is
was
the
so
man.
good. So good. And I was like, there was a chance you were gonna have me on like from the floor of D23. You made the right call. There was nothing to see here. It was so no crowd. There was no crowd. I don't know if you saw my
Take down
live
the
stream.
article.
Like, yeah, I mean, nothing going on. It was sad. And then Alan went back on for Saturday, same thing, no crowd. So they should have gotten a bump from all the announcements.
Yeah.
And everything was going on. It's like a candidate after a political convention. You get a bump.
After an announcement, you get a little bump,
No bump.
and then you don't give an
bump.
interview for 30 days. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's normal. No bump.
No.
bump.
This is why it was so
Why
funny. I actually thought Campia was trolling. Okay. when he put up a live stream that said D23 embarrasses Hall H. I'm like, come on, you're trolling, buddy. You got to be kidding. In a year filled with repurposed shows, prequels, and sequels, what did Disney announce, Chris?
I mean, not much.
Repurposed shows, prequels, and sequels. Toy Story 5. We're going on grandchildren now. We're going on like a third generation of kids for these toys. Oh God.
No, it was sad, really, and the fact that the stock is a reflection of confidence, right? The stock price, and in spite of two big wins, Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, there's no confidence in the future.
No,
that's why the stock price is in the 80s. So
no,
there you go.
what we said before Deadpool and Wolverine, which I liked, 7 out of 10, sticking with it. But over time, it'll be seen for what it was. It was just a gimmick, but it was a gimmick done well because Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, they carried that movie on their back. They did. No freaking story. It had nowhere near the heart Deadpool 1 and 2 did. And we had a nice long discussion on Real BBC yesterday. It's funny. We didn't talk about anything in the title of the live stream.
That was a great discussion.
It was like an hour and a half long. And it started when Mahler said it was Ahsoka was better than Deadpool and Wolverine. I just went. But he was trying to talk about a specific episode, and we had a great discussion about it. We won't get into it. It was fun. Go watch it later. It was a nerd discussion. That's like straight up what I used to do every day in my comic store. I used to referee that stuff, and like I said before, I was really bad at it. But Inside Out 2, which is a big hit. It's got lots of legs and everything. You don't hear a bunch of people talking about it, but that's kind of normal for a kids movie. You're not if it's a good kids movie, it's the family went, we had a good time, we had some popcorn, we'll get it on DVD and we'll show it to them later, maybe, whatever. That's what a Pixar movie is not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be talking about gender or after school special about, menstruation or whatever the fuck. That's not what a Pixar movie is supposed to be. It's supposed to be just fun with the family. And that's what we talk about mainly when we stay in like our lane. When we're talking about tentpole, big budget movies, I have no qualms criticizing a billion-dollar multinational corporation that spends hundreds of millions of dollars that could feed a lot of kids in Africa. Am I right, Red Letter Media? Fucking up 3 Ways to Sunday and Easy Lay, like Star Wars and Mad Max, and you know, it's phenomenal that they continue to fuck up this much. It's incredible. It's unthinkable that James Cameron comes out and says, I want to make more Terminator after Dark Fate, a story that he wrote. That first 5 minutes where John Connor gets murdered is his idea. Was his idea.
Bad idea.
It was a bad idea. So we see this continue. They just continue to fail. So like Marvel, they got a hit. It's $1 billion. Congratulations. They go out in Hall H and they do the very safe thing, but it's not the dumb thing. It really isn't. It's the best they can do within the parameters that they have put themselves in. Is, let's just get the Russos back and RDJ. Let's stop the bleeding, and then maybe later we can regroup. Because the problem is when you play the game of identity politics, it's kind of like the saying, you can vote your way into socialism and communism, but you can't vote your way out. So you've played these identity politics games. You've played these DEI games where you've already had these rules on the books, on your own websites. You're putting creative restrictions on yourselves. You change the rules of the Oscars. These are now laws are fucking changing because of this in California. It's ruining business. It's ruining small business. It's ruining ruined government. It's ruining our schools. It's ruining everything in the fabric of our fucking culture. All right. And it was all driven by money. By the way, they thought this was the best way to go. They thought that, but they can't get out of it now. And like, the market should decide this shit. And that's what's been different between from 2016 to now. What's been different is before the market would decide. You know, we talked about Spider-Man 3, which people look back on a little more fondly than at the time. But it made the most money of any Spider-Man movie at the time. And they got rid of Raimi and Tobey Maguire and reboot because of the fan reaction. You know, Batman versus Superman didn't make $1 billion, should have, but it made $800 million. It made enough money to still exist. They found an excuse to get rid of Zack Snyder. Again, doesn't matter if you make the money. We're looking at dollars and cents. They would listen to the market. They don't always mostly make the right decision, but they would still listen to the market and stop. Star Trek Discovery should have been canceled after the second season. Alex Kurtzman should have been kicked out. But there was all this. It didn't need to make money. It just needed to be on a platform. And Alex Kurtzman gave them a hit with another repurposed show, Hawaii Five-0. So they kept him around to just drive it into the ground. They don't always make the best decisions, but they used to listen to the market. Doctor Who should have been canceled a long time ago. And it almost was. It should be canceled now, but they won't. Marvel should absolutely axe Agatha. I know there's people I like out there who said the Thunderbolts trailer looked good. I was in Hall H when they played it. It was garbage. It's out on the internet. You can see it. It's garbage.
Yeah, it was not good. I thought it looked like a TV show.
It did.
Who cares? It
looked like Agents of Shield,
Store,
but not as good. Yeah, Dollar Store Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's it.
Captain African American didn't look good. There was people screaming and hollering, but the enthusiasm went way up when the Russo brothers hit, right?
Yes.
And honestly, with the Fantastic Four footage, people responded to that pretty well because they kept out female Silver Surfer. As soon as that pops up, that's going to be a problem, but I digress. So yeah, they at least recognized there was a problem. For all the people who say, well, Marvel's had hits, you're full of shit, you don't know what you're talking about. Why did they cancel the Eternals? Why are they not going to pick up Echo? Why are they not fast-tracking a Shang-Chi sequel? Anything from Phase 4. Why aren't they fast-tracking it? Why did they bring back the Russos? Well, it was over Jonathan Majors. They could have recast Kang. Easy. They've recast. They recast Rhodey. Yeah, it'd be very easy to recast Kang, but they saw a way out and to bring in Doctor Doom, which, you know, some of us were making videos a long time ago going, why do we have America Chavez? Why are we introduced to Echo? Why are we introduced to Miss Marvel, like the 5th or 6th derivative character from Captain Marvel? Like, why do we not have Namor? We still don't, by the way. We still don't. Not Namor. Why don't we have the Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad? Why don't we have fucking Doctor Doom, the biggest villain in all of Marvel? It's not Galactus. It's not Thanos. It's fucking Doctor Doom. So that's a smart move. And they needed to make some waves. Not saying it's the best decision, but they made one that wasn't Leslie Jones as Doctor Doom, which was kind of the biggest surprise for me. So
that would have been great. Leslie Jones.
Yes.
Dr. Doom.
So we have one subsidiary because they were forced to, and it's the biggest franchise in Hollywood right now, kind of changing. But it's not going to be enough, Chris. You know, you talked about The Purge. The Purge that happened at Marvel. All of Hollywood needs to be purged. Like, for this to change, every corporation needs to go through what Twitter went through. It does. It's so poisoned at this point. And even if they, like, things were definitely changing, Chris. They were like, some aspects of Hollywood were recognizing what's going on and wanting to change. Here's the big problem. We're in election year now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're going to take a few steps back, I think. Well, hopefully I'm wrong.
For now. Then we'll see. You know, look, I mean, no Eternals 2, no Shang-Chi 2, even though they had like tags and endings for all those movies. I mean, I was joking they should have that character from Luis from Ant-Man just explain all the loose ends in some funny montage, because there are so many dumb loose ends, and I don't know that anyone cares. The biggest one at the end of Ant-Man with the Coliseum of Kangs, right? Like,
they're going to get killed off screen.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're right. They could have recast Kang and gone with that plan. They realized what they were leading to, which probably involved all those loose ends and all those characters. No one was responding to these characters.
They could have dealt with that in Deadpool and Wolverine and just had Deadpool drop a bomb on the Coliseum of Kings.
Right.
Problem solved.
Kill them by mistake. They didn't mean to.
They redirect a missile into one of Doctor Strange's sling ring portals, and then he's all oops, and it goes and blows up the Coliseum of Kings.
Bad idea for a character. The idea that he gets defeated all these times. Well, okay, then he's not a threat.
Nope.
It's, you know, they've reprioritized, and, you know, I mean, they tried it. It didn't work. Phase 4 was an experiment that didn't work. The good thing about Marvel, I think, is there were some people there that recognized it didn't work, but it's so hard to turn. You're planning so far in advance, like you're planning a decade in advance, and things will change. You can't just pivot quickly. Although they should have recast Black Panther. All due respect to Chadwick Boseman, that Black Panther 2 was so awful. It was so bad. And
embarrassing. It was freaking embarrassing. The problem is they can't pivot. The structure's not set up to pivot, and that's going to be the end of Hollywood. So the only way you can pivot is you bring down your budgets and you just be more patient. You know,
I think with like experimental things like Shang-Chi or, you know, Eternals, those should be low budget.
Very low budget. Yes.
Low budget too. You know, when you have so much money, you solve every problem with money. I mean, government's the same way. They're so inefficient. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Then you don't get creativity. You look at some of the greatest filmmakers, what they did early in their career when they had no money. They had to be creative with what they had, and they could do that. They could do like low budget shows and just, you know, creatively solve those problems. Tell stories.
Why do you think Yeah, Taylor Sheridan's a money-making machine because he makes shows with no CG. And and it's weird because I cover genre. So I know that when a show or a movie finishes principal, well, it's another year of CGI and editing, right? So you hear something like Tulsa King finishes principal like a month ago, and they're all, it'll be out in a month. It'll be out in a month because we're editing as we go. It's a weekly show, so we can edit like as the season starts. We can finish, and there's no CG, so it's just action and acting, and it's fine. We did get some good news today.
What is that?
The Gentleman has been renewed for a season 2. Now, hopefully, it won't take years and years, but the absolute best thing I've seen this year is The Gentleman. This show fucking rocks in every way. So it has been renewed at Netflix for season 2. What the hell took you so long? I think it had pretty good word of mouth, and it got some nominations, whatever. I don't care about that. But Guy Ritchie's series, The Gentleman, has been renewed for a second season. The show, which stars Theo James and Kaya, I can't say her last name, as partners in crime, will return for 8 episodes with James and, I can't say her last name, set to reprise their roles as aristocratic Eddie Horniman and drug empire heiress Susie Glass. And Susie Glass is kind of the best thing in the show. She's freaking great. And yeah, it's based on the world of the movie. If you saw the movie, if you haven't seen the show, go watch it. Do yourself a favor, go watch it. Have you seen The Gentleman, Chris?
I have not seen the show, but I've seen the movie. I know, you keep telling me.
Dude, it is so good. It is so good. So yeah, go out and watch that. That's so far my favorite thing this year. Halfway through the year. But yeah. So Rings of Power, speaking of repurposing and destroying, the most expensive TV show ever made. They're $1 billion into this thing. Especially, it was debated, but it can't be now because they moved their operations from New Zealand to the UK because of the tax write-off, which you would think the richest company in the world, the second richest man in the world, which bothers Jeff Bezos a lot. I would argue he would still be the richest man in the world if he just didn't release the Rings of Power. He would have saved all that money, and you would be richer than Elon Musk, but you're not. And Elon Musk clowned this show. Let's not forget this. That was fucking funny. And I love billionaires fighting each other. I think that's good. I hate it when they're in lockstep. That's bad. Bilderberger bad, fighting billionaires good, okay? Trolling each other, memeing each other. I mean, it almost makes him human. So let's support that. So yeah, Rings of Power, covered it extensively on this channel. I initially was excited when I heard that we might be getting a Second Age show. I'm like, ooh, what part of the Second Age? Fall of Numenor, the Forging of the Rings, the War of the Last Alliance. Those are 3 big ones. The Fall of Region. Those are big ones. But yeah, like you could do an anthology. You could do like a series on each thing. No, they decided to just put them all in a blender, make up a bunch of characters, tell Tolkien to fuck off, and made their show. And I have a video that came out, which I 100% stand by. I actually could add to it at this point, called The Rings of Power, The Making of a Disaster, where I spoke to some people, and they told me kind of like what was the roadmap of this disaster. And the fundamental part of this roadmap was disciples, offspring, spawn of Jar Jar Abrams, producer Lindsay Weber, Patrick McKay, and J.D. Payne, who are just yes men, happy to get a job because their only credit was a bad Star Trek script. Partial, by the way, Star Trek Beyond. Although they had worked for Bad Reboot, in their own words, for 10 years and worked on a lot of scripts, but never did enough to get credit. According to the people I talked to, they were very happy to be rid of Lindsay Weber. They're like, oh, that's a shame you got to go to Amazon. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. And that was from Jar Jar. So, and she is the one who has famously said that Lord of the Rings needed to, the fantasy world meticulously created by Professor Tolkien over the course of his life, needed to reflect the world we live in today. That's what she said. That's what she said. So we got another trailer, and this one's about battles, guys, because the biggest criticism of season 1 wasn't the complete desecration of the lore, the made-up characters, the nonsensical dialogue that that was a great argument for AI writing, and the pure intersectionalism of the whole entire thing. No, is you needed more battles. Remember, we got an origin to a geographic location. We got the origin of a metal. I hope we get the recipe for lambus bread, like who created it. As I said in my video, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the first lesbian of color elf who invented lambus bread. But in this trailer, which I scanned, there's already repurposed shit.
Really?
It's all repurposed. So they only have the rights to the appendices, which others have pointed out, by the way. I'm not the only one who's pointed all this stuff out. Which does chronicle the making of the rings pretty well. Pretty freaking well. There's no question what order they were made in or anything. So they had the rights to that and fucked it up completely. Now, mind you, this takes place over the Second Age, which was a long time, thousands of years, thousands. So as we go over the trailer, I'll tell you like how far apart a couple of characters are, and you'll find out how ridiculous. And Amazon just made up characters. You don't need to make up characters. There's no lack of characters in the appendices. Let's go.
War has come to Middle Earth.
Trebuchets.
This is the work of Sauron.
Yeah, wait, stop, pause. No, Guy Ladriel, it's the work of you. It's the work of you. So if you paid attention to season 1, this bitch knew who Sauron was, let him go, and didn't tell anybody. So it's not the work of Sauron. It's the work of Guy Ladriel, the retarded. But hey, Sauron's big plan. And JD Payne and Patrick McKay and Lindsay Weber and all the other retards over at Amazon, their big plan was, we'll circle back to the lore. Let's circle back to the lore after we've completely crushed it, Gore. I made it rhyme. I made that rhyme, by the way.
I love that.
Totally on purpose. These are the geniuses, the same geniuses who had Guy Ladriel searching for Sauron for 1,000 years without her husband, Celeborn, or her daughter, without a map. And then she randomly ran into him when she was swimming back from the Undying Lands because she didn't want to go in the middle of the fucking ocean. I shit you not. Then they almost fuck.
That was dumb. That was so dumb and random. I'll just say, look, I am a normie when it comes to Lord of the Rings, okay? You are the expert. I'm the normie. I love the Peter Jackson films.
Yep.
I look forward to them. I bought the soundtracks, got multiple editions on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. I love those movies. They were that span when they were coming out was so great because there were old fans like yourself and there were new fans like me. And I was a fan of the Lord of the Rings, even the Rankin Bass Hobbit cartoon. I saw the Lord of the Rings cartoon in the theater when I was a kid, and the Rankin Bass Hobbit was fun.
That was my gateway into it. Like, cause they would play that on ABC. I can't remember, a network, one of the 3 networks on prime time. They would play it.
I loved it. It was classic story. It was like a step above a fairy tale. It was more to it. There were bigger stakes. And I've always been a normie fan. This series, The Rings of Power, holds no interest for me. And I think I'm a good barometer. I don't know any normie people talking about it. That's what would the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies have been as popular if normies weren't into it? Do you think?
No.
Like,
They made it palpable to normies. I remember the first time I watched Fellowship of the Ring, I was behind a hardcore Tolkien fan and hated it. I'm like, really?
yeah.
I mean, like, I thought that was really good. The reason like Lord of the Rings, arguably is more popular right now than Star Wars 2. And there's a huge resurgence for Peter Jackson's trilogy because of the 20-year rule and because it's the greatest trilogy ever made. And we're never going to see anything better. And that's okay. It's okay. But we're never going to see anything like that again as far as adaptation is concerned and as far as execution and being in the spirit. It's not perfect at all, a perfect adaptation, but it's a great experience. And how many people just sit down and watch one? They usually watch them all, you know? And people have forgotten about the theatrical editions, except for Critical Drinker. Just kidding. And watch the extended edition, and that's all they watch. I watch it minimum twice a year, all the way through, sometimes a lot more. But no, it created a bunch of new fans. And the only thing Rings of Power did that was good is it got people reading the books. It frustrated people so much that they went and read the books, which is great. I have no problem with that. It probably brought a lot of people to true Tolkien, right? So to circle back to the lore, Halbrand was Sauron. We all knew that. And it should have been Anatar. And all of this nonsense, I want to hear. High King Feanor, Alpha Chad out there has been talking about this on Twitter. There was never this paranoia about Sauron. There was never like, Sauron's coming. He's the boogeyman. Sauron. We're working for. No, there was never that, especially when it was around the crafting of the rings. And Rhaegon, King Gil-galad, was suspicious of Anatar, the Lord of Gifts. So was Galadriel, which they've completely fucked up, right? But they didn't know what was up. They just were suspicious. And it wasn't until Sauron put on the One Ring. I was going to reach for it. I have it over there, but it's hanging from my light. It looks like the Ring of Power, but it's actually the wedding ring from my first marriage.
Oh no!
That I had to put it on a chain.
Evil. Don't put it on. No.
I'll get it. Hang on.
One ring to ruin them all.
Oh,
I can reach
Oh my god.
Suddenly,
hang on.
turn into Gollum.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Yes.
Gary. No.
So funny.
Oh.
So funny. Oh my god.
Well, you'll have to like throw it in some lava and get rid of it, man. Seriously.
Cast it in the fire.
Cast it into the fire. Destroy it. Anyway, so they're circling back and they're trying to fix it. Which they have already fucked up. Which they have already completely fucked up. So their big fix was, instead of getting another actor, which would have been the smart thing to do, if you really wanted to do, it's dumb anyway, but you get another, no, they throw a wig on the actor who played Halbrand and who hung out with Celebrimbor the whole time, and he's like not going to recognize him at all. It's simply retarded. So here it is. Here's Sauron.
Our armies cannot defeat him.
God, hang on. Stop. Pause. What they've done to Gil-galad too is fucking. He's like incompetent middle management. This is High King Gil-galad. But he's all, fucking, I can't stand it. Sorry. Please continue.
Once the deceiver obtains a must trust.
Whoa. God, your Canadian internet's kicking in. Stop. Good Lord.
Trudeau's trying to get me.
True.
I'm going to see if there's a way I can share this. Hang on.
Maybe Chris can.
Put the link in the private
It's in
chat.
the private chat. Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Starlink.
I actually did look into it. I have to set it up.
Okay, Gary, let's see how I do.
We're
Go
at
to
31 seconds.
31.
And then full screen it.
Okay.
There we go. Thanks, Chris.
Okay,
All right.
tell me when to pause.
All right, go. Okay, what?
You are wise to fear these rings. In Sauron's hands, they could work an evil beyond reckoning.
Aegion must not fall. It would be a mortal blow for all Middle-earth.
Sooner or later, Sauron's eye bores a hole.
Okay, stop.
Let us head.
I have a question.
Please.
Where are the Harfoots?
Uh,
We forgot about them?
Oh, they'll show up. They'll show up.
Are they in this season? Like,
Oh, they are. They are. So they're going to. Their journey is supposed to somewhat mimic Sam and Frodo's time with Gandalf, except they're going to show Gandalf the way. So they're going to lead Gandalf to another being who will teach him. I'm guessing it's going to be a woman. It'll be either a repurposed character or, and like, this is just purely my speculation, by the way. So it'll be the two girls leading, totally not Gandalf, to another woman. I could be wrong about this, to another woman who will show him the way, to show him that he is supposed to fight Sauron. None of this happened. None of this happened at all. This is all made up fanfic bullshit. And by the way, going back, that certainly looks like Galadriel's in Eregion, either during the fall of Eregion. Again, I can only guess. She's not supposed to be there.
I mean, if it's fanfic, I want to see some Harfoot fucking. Harfoot fucking. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on to Harfoots. Let's fuck. Sorry.
They already have that. There's plenty of that out there. Fucking
Is there
weirdos.
really?
Yeah, it's like,
I
Jesus
was
Christ.
joking.
Look at porn like normal people, you weirdos. Okay. And the rest of him slithers in. So that is Adar, who they had to recast because Joseph Malway was smart and his agent got to him and got the fuck out of this gig that he would have to be committed to for like a decade. So we have a new Adar who is a made-up dark elf who created orcs, which is stupid. So the reason they made up Adar, I call him Adar, but it's Adar. The reason they made up Adar is because they needed a bad guy for season 1. That's it. That was their entire motivation. They were like, we're going to draw something from the lore where maybe, because none of this shit happened. They're like, well, since we're going to try to dupe you with Sauron, we need another bad guy. And now they're stuck with him. And that bad guy found a meth head in a southern town to make Mordor with a sword and a contraption that was like Mousetrap that ignited a volcano with a pyroclastic flow that just went over Galadriel like it was nothing, like it was a little dirt, which would have evaporated her, even as an elf, okay? So there's no science advisors. There's no Tolkien advisors. There's no advisors at all. And what they did, that's the saddest part about this, Chris, is, and thank you, I really appreciate the kind words. I'm not an expert. I'm a fan. I'm not an expert in anything. I've read a lot of stuff. I've watched a lot of stuff.
You're an expert.
There's people who know far more than I do that are working with this show and backing it. Shame on them. Shame on them. All the professors and scholars who are backing this shit. You got fucking paid off. You're full of shit. Your integrity was pretty cheap. A little pain. I don't even know if they paid for your plane flight out there to go to the UK and get a gift bag. Is that all it costs?
It was a very good gift bag.
It must have been. Hope there was blowjobs in that fucking gift bag.
I'm looking at the Folio Society copies of Lord of the Rings.
They're sweet.
Folio Society. I just bought Dune and Dune Messiah.
That's my
They're
porn.
That amazing. I mean, and they've got these DC books. They've got Batman, Avengers. They've got comics.
Oh, they got the DC one. I got all the Marvel ones. I'll have to check that. Folio Society is awesome, by the way, and they've worked with George R. R. Martin, and they made some awesome A Song of Ice and Fire books and Lord of the Rings books, and yeah.
They have 2001. I've read that book. That book is weird because it was written while the movie was being made. Anyways,
yeah, the reason I haven't made videos on trailer reactions for this, well, I did one. I did for the first one. I'm not going to probably do one because I'm saving it for the show. Because I want to know the details. Unlike last year, like where I had a ton of information on the show, I don't. So I'll be watching it, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm guessing they will prison rape the lore like they did in season 1. I'm guessing it's going to be worse. It's going to be because Anatar coming in now is dumb, is wrong. It's dumb. They should have just stuck with their stupid idea. They just made it worse. And I totally believe it was a reaction to the fans. I don't think it was planned at all. Let's keep in mind that JD Payne and Patrick McKay were not involved for most of this show because of the strike. So this is Lindsay Weber's baby. Oh, and you know what? I sit corrected, Chris. This one's going to be a better season. Do you know why?
all directed by women.
All directed by women.
I knew it.
It's all directed by women. So what am I even saying? This is going to be great because women directed it. Hit play.
It's always better that way.
Yeah, right? Women directors are awesome, right, Madam Webb? Hit play, Chris, please.
Okay, hang on.
You sought peace. I gave it to you. This is hardly a gift. What have you done to me? What have you done to me?
Okay, pause right there.
Who are you?
That's meta commentary for what Amazon has done to Celebrimbor, the Master Smith, who didn't know what a fucking alloy was in season 1.
Oh my God.
Grandma Brimbor. Yeah, that's the ghost of Tolkien. What have you done to me? Rat bastards. Hey, Bezos, remember when your son said not to fuck up Lord of the Rings? You fucked it up bad. Even a controversial ending to House of the Dragon is light years fucking better than this shit. And more people will be talking about the fact that they got blue balls, which means they're still interested in the show with House of Dragon, than anybody will be talking about this show about 30 minutes into your first fucking episode of 3 that you're going to put in one night. By the way, thank you for doing that, because now I can cover your finale. I wasn't going to be, it was in question, folks. I was worried. I was genuinely worried because I have to go to Peru for Forbidden Frontier. Can't wait. And I'm like, shit, the finale's airing while I'm in Peru. I hope I have internet. But then Amazon announced that they're doing 3 episodes in the first night. Thanks, buddy. Let's go.
Continue?
Yes, please.
Truly, I am the one keeping the storm at bay.
Oh, stop. Stop. Go back to that. Can you go back to that?
Of course.
That's all the Rings of Power fans trying to like.
No, that's your thumbnail right there.
Oh, that's everybody's thumbnail. So that's all the Rings of Power scholars who sold their souls to cover for the show. After they're done, like standing, they go back in their bathroom and they do this.
That's the thumbnail right there, Gary.
That's
you
it.
Got it.
Holy shit. Oh my God. And what sucks is the fall of Aregion is fucking amazing. It's cool. And it's fucked up. So I'm going to spoil some things. Just one thing. Celebrimbor becomes a banner. His dead body is a banner for Sauron's forces. They're marching with Celebrimbor's body hung up as a banner. It's fucking awesome and dark. But like, I want this guy hung up. You're supposed to feel sorry for Celebrimbor. You know, he had a little baggage. And little family baggage, and he had a little chip on his shoulder. And it's tragic what happened to him. He wasn't bad. He wasn't goofy. He wasn't a fucking moron. But they made him that in this. They made him a typical male in current year Hollywood. This is all intersectionalism, something that like Tolkien is diametrically opposed to in story-wise. This is Hollywood can't tell these stories. I used to think it was won't, Chris. They can't. They have no fucking idea the difference between good and bad. Their morals are so up their ass, literally, sometimes. They have no idea what right and wrong is anymore. They don't. They're so disconnected from the audience. They're so disconnected from good storytelling. A lot of the modern writers have never fucking done anything in their lives. They've gone to school and they've watched other people's TV shows. I mean, how many of them have read books all the way there? Like, how many books? You know how well read you had to be a writer, a screenwriter in Hollywood back in the day? We were talking to Mahler yesterday about the old, Star Trek and Twilight Zone. And you just don't see writing like that anymore.
And you would have like you would have like common points in discussion because you've read all the classics, and those are being like diminished in college, right?
Yes.
The classics have taken on like now they're they're vilified, which is annoying. So there's no even common point of reference for writers.
Now the classics in college are flog yourself if you're a white person or something like that,
Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. And then just to wipe that away. Also, when you even like, this would be a good, maybe a topic for a video. The kind of life experience these writers had before they started writing. Even Jack Kirby and Stan Lee served. In World War II and had amazing lives. So did Gene Roddenberry. Gene Roddenberry survived a plane crash. Like that guy, if you learn anything about Gene Roddenberry's life, he had its colorful life. He was also quite.
Where do you think the dead marshes comes from Tolkien? Him walking through muddy fields, walking over the body parts of his friends.
So the weight, they understand the weight, and it's like the current state of Star Wars is just influenced by the last Star Wars, whereas the first Star Wars had so many influences of so many things. But
it was a mixture of the hero's journey, and then like the Saturday morning serials,
which I watched as a kid. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers,
Kurosawa, yes,
Kurosawa, Seven Samurai, all that stuff. Like it was the culmination of so many things. So the modern writers doing this and Star Wars, their reference is just the earlier Star Wars or the earlier Lord of the Rings, not anything else. So not like Dr. Doom is Darth Vader. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah,
right?
yep,
Darth
yep,
Vader is
yep.
Doom. Like that's pretty common.
But what they've done, the idiots out there, you just hate women. That's why you say Galadriel. It's like, you stupid fucking Stan. Galadriel was very strong in her femininity. One of the most feminine characters in all of Tolkien and one of the most popular. Everybody loved her. Amazon destroyed her character by grinding her down into some intersectional, well, she's got to be a warrior because of the actual sexism that you have. You think that only strength comes from a man from that point, and they're unable to show powerful femininity because it's traditional. It's traditional. They want women to be men. I mean, look at the fucking Olympics right now. So you destroyed a great female character. That's what people are pissed about. People are pissed about the lore. Is it the elves of color or the dwarves of color? No, it's the fact that you're out there. By the way, when I say that, that's because you said it in the media. That's why I'm going to continue to say that forever, because I'm using your fucking language. And you're saying, well, I'm racist for pointing it out. I'm using your language. I'm using your own fucking language that got repeated time and time again. There were, father, people of color is lame. There were, it's a diverse landscape that have people of all makes, shapes, and sizes in a world that Tolkien carefully crafted. You just didn't want to portray them as bad. That's it, because some of them were bad. Some of them were bad, and you didn't want to portray them as bad. So it just destroys everything. And you shouldn't even have adapted it. Your best move should have been just to not do it. So like all that shit's going to start up again. It already has, but it's going to ramp up to about 11 within about a week. And we'll start hearing all the racist, sexist, misogynist bullshit. And that'll be their entire argument. I will not see one that justifies, there's one that they keep floating out there that justifies Galadriel as a warrior, and basically saying that Tolkien kind of described her as a man. No, she was tall. She was tall and she was athletic. And they've taken that one little sentence and they've turned it into warrior Galadriel. But so you're justifying warrior Galadriel based on a couple of sentences, but you're ignoring the paragraphs where she's married to Celeborn, has a daughter, Celebrian, flees Eregion prior to the fall of Eregion. You're ignoring all that actual lore, but you're justifying it here. You're full of shit. Just go out and wave your I would have more respect for you if you go, my name's the Tolkien professor. I'm the professor. I'm the scholar. Here's all my Amazon money. I love this show. I'd have way more respect for that. I would. Oh my God. Okay, let's go.
Sauron is my enemy as much as yours. I can help you destroy him.
I will not stop until this is put right.
Okay, stop.
Every soul.
I'm never going to get to this. Stop. Chris, pause, please. Okay. Was she talking to Adar?
Let me go back.
Was she talking to Adar?
Right here. Start again.
Does she go to Mordor? What For one, there's no Balrog there. He's not supposed to be there. He's sleeping. Oh, God. Okay, so I think she's talking to Adar, and the trailer's trying to make it look like I will help you destroy him. Like, fuck this Adar stuff. And she's back in her armor. She did none of this stuff. None of this. She's a leader. She also didn't partake in any of these major battles at all. And forcing her in. And don't even get me started on Numenor. We'll get to that. But go on. Hit play.
Every soul in the seen or unseen world.
Do you want to pause?
Yeah. So you saw the spiders there. Isildur, who was left behind because they thought he was dead. Who was left behind because they thought he was dead. But remember the eagles. Remember giant spiders. Remember Shelob. Yeah, we're starting to see it. Fucking. I remember. Go ahead.
Will know that it was you who was the architect of their demise. At this moment, the great tale of our age is being written.
Oh, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Hey, wait. Pause right there. Okay.
I think it was
right there. So we saw Don Lemonless was about to fight Mike Ehrmantraut, the troll.
Yeah, here it
is.
is.
So we need to remind the viewers that there was a statement made right around the release of Rings of Power Season 1 that they wanted this to be a Sauron Walter White story. Now, that came from the Hollywood Reporter and Variety, right? So I found out that, like, okay, maybe some fucking retard at Amazon said that. No, that came directly from Simon Tolkien, Christopher's son, where the apple fell off the tree, down the hill, down the road, into the sewer, into the ocean. Might be described to me as a nice enough guy, but a bit of an idiot. And I can see why. So they describe Sauron is Walter White, and they now have a troll that they described as Mike Ehrmantraut.
Gary, is there any way for them to correct this? I mean, this season at least has action. I watched the whole first season. It was boring.
Yes, it was very boring.
And I was not invested. But it's not unprecedented that seasons of TV shows were terrible in the first season and then got better. I mean, Star Trek The Next Generation got better by season 3. It was good. Is it possible? I'm saying, is it possible?
Maybe I'm wrong. My complaints with Star Trek The Next Generation season 1, which I don't hate as much as everybody else does, they were just kind of poorly put together shows, poorly executed, but it's not like they were raping the lore of fucking Star Trek. You know what I mean? Right. I never felt that. It was more of like, who is this bald English guy? Getting used to, Picard and stuff and the different captain. I love Encounter at Farpoint. I freaking love it. I watch it all the time.
It's really good.
Absolutely adore it. But no, this is different because you paid $250 million for the rights to the fandom, for access to your built-in audience that was guaranteed money. That's what Amazon paid $250 million with the rights for. That's what Disney paid, $4-5 billion for Marvel and Star Wars, around there. That's what you paid for. You didn't pay for the property. You paid for the access to that money that would be printed. All you had to do was honor it. And it would have been a money printing machine forever. That's what you pay for. So why on fucking earth would you take the thing you paid $250,000 for, just for the access, and then spend $1 billion on, and your first move is to piss off that built-in fan base, your guaranteed money? Well, we want to get the normies. Who gets the normies in? The people who know the lore, comic book fans, are the ones that initially went to Spider-Man and Superman. And then that word of mouth gets out there, and you ask your friend who's even kind of in the comics, go, no, that was good. That felt like Spider-Man. That felt like Batman. That felt like Superman. That's what you pay for. And you can't put a price on it because it's the best advertising in the world still, word of mouth. So you're not going to please 100% of the built-in fan base, but you definitely want to please most. You want to please most. What you don't want is most of them pissed off, or even half of them pissed off. And you have to do whatever it takes to not. And no, don't pull this. It's art. Yes, it can be art, but you're playing in a sandbox that was built by somebody else. You're using tools that were used by somebody else or built by somebody else. You want art. Go out and make your own shit. I would love to see it. I would love to see more original shit. But if you're coming in this, you need to respect the lore. And all they gave us was lip service. So no, they cannot turn around because the vast majority of the Tolkien fandom laughs at this. And we're just coming back to mock it at this point.
Well, and then it hasn't captured the normies.
No.
I mean, I felt compelled to watch it. But my God, it hasn't. Is anyone talking about this? We still talk about Lord of the Rings, the Jackson trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Still discussed, and was released to theaters recently. You know about that because you were there. All the screenings sold out, packed, every single one, and virtually no promotion behind it. It quietly came to theaters. Quietly.
Yes.
You think they'd tie it in somehow? I don't know.
I have a feeling Amazon was trying to block them because I would have done a wide release, and they still have one more chance because they passed the 20th anniversary, which was stupid because Warner Brothers is stupid, but they have a chance at 25th anniversary. If they go to 25th anniversary of Fellowship, which will be in about 3 years, do a full wide release, extended editions, it will just make you money and the cost will be minimal. And do it in an off season. For what I would recommend doing it at the time it came out. I would do it around Christmas. Fuck it. That's not an off season, but I'd do it around Christmas and it would probably beat some new releases. A 25-year-old movie. So that's my unsolicited advice for whoever owns Warner Brothers in 3 years, because it won't be the people who own it now. If it's even still around. If it's even still around. Don't even fucking know. They're writing down some billions. But So Don Lemonless is going to jump on the troll just like Legolas. Remember when Legolas jumped on the fucking troll?
Remember that?
That was cool. That was cool. Seems like he's still attending the Sylvan Barbershop. That's good. That's good. I want to show about the Sylvan Barbershop. That's what I want. Let's go. Hit play.
You think it was only you who put yourself in my power. Galadriel.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
That look on her face is really funny.
Dude, she is so horribly cast. She's too tiny and she's not pretty. Okay? She's just not.
Oh, yeah, thumbnail.
Nothing against Morva Clark. I'm sure she could act in like sitcoms and independent features. And listen, I can't play Celeborn. All right. I understand that. Like, I don't have the looks to do it. And she can't play Galadriel. She is horribly miscast. Who in the fuck casted her in this role? They should never cast anybody ever again. You're fucking terrible at your job. But it doesn't help that it's written by a bunch of morons. Oh, and there's going to be LGBTQ plus representation. That is so Tolkienian.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's Celebrimbor. I mean, the Elrond Durin the Third thing got pretty gay, but I think it's Grandma Brimbor.
That's a weird look, dude. You have so many good screenshots for thumbnails.
I'm gonna have so many additions to my file.
Oh man!
Hashtag respect for Tolkien. Go out there. That's gonna be that launches on the 29th. That launches on the 29th. There's a lot of fine people out there. I love the respect for Tolkien crowd is just so racist, and all I see them doing is just throwing lore back in people's faces. That's it. Like, this didn't happen. So they didn't show. Let me show. Do they? Yeah, they don't show any Numenor. Hit play. Let's finish it up.
Sure, yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
All right. So Numenor is. I think they're like reaching to the point where it's going to fall too. So that'll probably be next season. So this will be the fall of Eregion, where Celebrimbor dies and he's used as a banner for Sauron's armies. Okay, so Celebrimbor and Galadriel and Celebrian. You know the name Celebrian? Do you know the name Celebrian? That's her daughter. That's her daughter. It's her daughter. It's Arwen's mom. They fled Eregion prior to the fall of Eregion. Eregion falls. The time between they're fleeing, I had to get this right. I am looking at it because I know it was like hundreds of years apart, but it is 1350 and Eregion is destroyed in 1697. So that's, 300, 400 years apart. Okay. That's not so bad. So, Ar-Pharazôn who is the bloated union leader in Numenor, who's supposed to be like, these are Numenorians. These are the men of the West. These are like superhumans, not little bloated fucking walking around with robes and all this shit. So he usurps the throne that should have gone to Muriel, but doesn't, and force her into marriage. That happens, I want to say, 1,500 years later. About 1,500 years later. 1,500 years. But they've mashed this all into one. Like, how many Numenorian kings had there been to that point? I want to say in the teens at that point, right? Yes. No, in the 20s. In the 20s. So there have been 20 kings. They just skipped all that shit. They just skipped all that shit. So this is how fucking ridiculous it is. This was an easy fix. You hire competent people, and then you do Forging of the Rings, Fall of Eregion, time jump, make a new series, recast, Fall of Numenor, time jump, make a new series, really good epilogues, and do the War of the Last Alliance. That would have taken 10 years, 12 years, and if done well, everybody would have been talking about it. It would have been engaging. But no, they're like, hey, let's put it all into one, which ruins it for future projects. The only thing that we could, because once you, like, hey, the Dark Phoenix saga, they can go out and do a great one, but they've already done it twice shitty.
They'll do it a third time.
Oh, they will. But they've already done it twice shitty. And it's like, you had your chance. Like, you're Amazon. You have all the fucking resources in the world, and you go to some marketing executive from fucking NBC and put her in charge of Amazon Prime, and this is what you get. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Hiring inexperienced people to run the most expensive show of all time. Who thought this was ever a fucking good idea? Like, these people make a lot of money to make these decisions. So that's the funny part. That's the part I have no problem with. These fuckers had money to burn, and they burned it instead of like putting it to good use. Giant fucking vanity project for Jeff Bezos. And when you make something to make it a vanity project, this is what you get. So no, I don't like the series very much. I'm not happy about this. And I think there's 0% chance it will be good.
Do you think, remember last time we got tickets to see it in a theater and they even gave us refreshments? Remember that? And I forgot, where'd you drive?
I had to drive to Waco, which was like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. So I think we both saw it in a theater. I remember seeing it with Paulie from Latino Stuff.
I did a live stream that night at like fucking midnight or something. 8,000 people were watching. So thank you, by the way. But yeah, in the middle of the fucking night. And I had a long time to think about it. I was thinking about it 3 hours, and like, I didn't even turn music on. It was silent in my car, dude. I was just like, so yeah, glad I kind of worked it out by the time I got home.
I wonder if they'll do that again.
Oh, they're offering free tickets for Spain, the premiere. Yeah, I wonder if they will too.
They may do it.
Maybe they will. We'll find out soon. But if not, then I will be doing a watch party right here on this channel, and then we'll go live right after it. And then I'll work on my video. It's gonna be busy. So I'm kind of like taking it a little easy right now, because then Agatha will be out, right? And then, but then Tulsa King will be out. And over on Nerdrotic Live, I'll probably cover Tulsa King. I freaking love that show. Chris, have you seen Tulsa King?
I've not.
Okay,
no,
take a break from a couple of bad indie movies. Sorry, indie movies, but a couple of some of them are bad.
True.
And spend a day watching Gentleman and Tulsa King, and I can promise I'll watch RRR because I already have
what
before Rings of Power comes out.
Years in the making.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Make that deal.
Okay. All right. Tulsa King. Give me one show. I watched The Gentleman. I want to see that.
Well, they're both 8 episodes, so you'll be done. They're both like short. And Tulsa King season 2 comes out September 15th. But I'd watch The Gentleman first because that one's like far more cinematic and stylish and good. It's the first episode gets you.
Okay.
Guy in a chicken suit. That's all I'm going to
Okay.
say. Guy in a chicken suit.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, Chris, give us spoiler-free thoughts on Alien 1.5 Romulus.
Yes, it takes place, between Alien and Aliens. It features a new group of characters that are young kids on a mining colony, and they're upset at their lives, right? They have obligation to the corporation. They want a way out. There is a space station, a Weyland-Yutani space station that is floating above their planet, which has rings around it, and it's unmanned for some reason. They want to go up there, steal some cryo chambers to get to this other world where they can experience sunlight. And of course, this station was the location where an accident may have happened involving some aliens. You meet a group of these young characters. 2 of them have British accents that are barely understandable. And there is an alien android named Andy who likes to tell dad jokes, not a joke, who is the best friend, or they say brother, of the lead. What's her name? Her name is Rain, played by Callie Spaney. So it just checks all the boxes of everything you would see in an alien film. Facehuggers, aliens, acid blood, weird mystery, aliens with alternative agendas, and leading to one of the worst cameos from a previous character.
Okay, worse than how people reacted to Leia in Rogue One?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh.
And it's
Oh, no.
done so badly. So now the crowd I saw it with, and the first half of the movie, almost nothing happens. Finally, when things kick in, and then a third act that's like, you just goes on way too long. So the audience I saw it with liked it. I was the one person saying, I thought it was terrible. I didn't care about any of the characters. They were, they're all like these Gen Z, whatever, like with no, they just didn't have the likability of at least the alien crew or even aliens with the Space Marines. The most interesting character is the character of Andy, played by David Johnson, who's an android. He actually is interesting because they upgrade his software. He goes through, but overall, I did not like it. And typical, the effects get so digital. It's by the end, it's distancing. It just doesn't feel real. So I like the director, Fede Alvarez. I really like him a lot, but it's a pass for me. 4 out of 10. That's my very short.
He's a competent director. He's not like a hack at all. He's a competent director for sure.
And I did see him at a panel at Monsterpalooza, and he talked about, like, he brought the team back from Aliens. He talked to Cameron. He wanted to combine the best of the first Alien with the best of Aliens. It doesn't stick the landing. It just doesn't. It's all in the script, and the casting of the lead actress, Callie Spaney, I thought was was weak. The one thing about Sigourney Weaver, she was sexy.
Yeah,
she was
she's a good
sexy.
actress.
She looked good in underwear, and she looked good with no bra on and a tank top. So, what's
I
wrong
mean,
with
let's be real. That's what sold a lot of the
Nothing.
movie. Okay, let's just remember. But that was normal.
and-
that was like something you
Mhm.
expected to see. It was the late 70s.
They get attractive women, and they don't let them be hot. They make them sort of this genderless woman character.
Yeah,
And
that's
like a tank.
intersectionalism. It's like, okay, let's take the good-looking woman who, in real life, will dress herself up, look nice they look better on the red carpet that they do in the movie. And yeah, they're supposed to be like probably blue-collar workers, I'm guessing. But
Yeah, they are.
still, they try the Rose Tico effect. You
That
know,
was
Yeah.
egregious.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Rose Tico effect.
Put them in a baggy onesie, and that's
Yeah,
but it's lame. It's lame. They can be
Well-
you can be a woman
that
and sexy and strong.
the girl.
Simultaneously.
That's the girl from Civil War, right? That's in this, right? The photographer from the movie Civil War, Alex Garland, Civil War. Pretty sure it's the same actress.
yeah,
She looks like
yeah.
she's 12. So
Yeah, she looks very
a baby.
yeah. So
I'm sure she's in her 20s, but she looks like she's 12.
but the script is the weak part. The script is weak, and then the third act, if in this cameo, it's gonna piss people off. It's not a direct. They have a way to kind of go, well, it's not really a cameo. It is. Yeah, I did not.
Yeah, there's only
I don't know. I think normies are probably going to eat it up. To be honest, I think normies may like this, but if you are a fan, it's typical
how did
kid-
it compare to Planet of the Apes?
Oh, the
one
new-
that just came out.
Yeah, I think this is worse.
Really? I think
No.
I think the reaction will probably be the same. It's like,
It's the same.
some people
Sort of like-
They just wouldn't care to go.
yeah.
It looks like an alien movie. It's fine, but yeah, that first half is a slog.
But it's not
Yeah.
moving the franchise forward. It'll, who knows how well it'll do. We'll see. I'll find out tomorrow when I go see it.
Maybe there's a thing with the corporation and why they want this research that is kind of interesting, but I don't know. You know what? Not everything has to be explained.
No.
Like the
Imagine if they
alien-
remade Jaws today. They'd explain everything. They'd show everything.
It's global warming, Gary.
Yeah, it would be, obviously.
Jaws was Jaws. It'll be like Bambi, but with Jaws. It'll be Jaws' mom
Hey.
and dad were killed.
I saw Jaws' mom and dad were killed by plastic in the ocean, and Jaws wants to get revenge for Chloe.
Remake Jaws, but Bambify it. We're sympathetic to Jaws, which is Jaws' name is Jaws.
His name will be Jaws. Yes.
His name is
No,
Jaws.
I saw
my God.
Twisters, which I know you didn't like. That was fine.
It's okay.
It was fine. But there was a moment in it where like they could have gone there with climate change. They're like, God, there's more tornadoes and hurricanes than ever, and they just leave it there. They go, yeah, there's a lot more tornadoes. And I'm like, I appreciate that. I really did, because they really could. I'm like, here comes the climate change thing, but they left it out, and I'm like, oh, good.
It was right. I just hate how they kept saying her name, Kate. Kate, what should we do, Kate? Kate.
I know.
Kate.
Yeah, it was.
He may not have been a girl boss by definition, but all the men around her were like twister whipped by her or something. It was just, yeah. But I think you're gonna look, yeah. That Planet of the Apes reference is a great. That's it. This is like that Apes movie. That's what this is. It's another of this kind of movie. We know you like it, so
Planet of
it's
the
like-
Apes is kind of like Avatar. They're better, by the way. They're better. I'm saying that right now. They're better than James Cameron's Avatar, but they come out, people enjoy them. They go, that's really cool, and they don't ever talk about them until the next sequel comes out.
That's what'll happen with this. You won't be talking about it. I mean, if they want to launch a new trilogy off of this, it's weird how like these movies, like Alien and Aliens are amazing. Terminator and Terminator 2 are amazing. And both of those franchises have had sequels that meander and don't reignite or advance it, you know? I thought Prometheus would do that, and it was interesting. I just don't like the what they did. That the space jockeys were somehow, like that was their gear. That did not make sense at all from the derelict ship.
Yeah, they took a bunch of ancient alien theories and tried to make it an alien movie, and I love the concepts of it, but it's just
Which I just found like a model of that derelict from first Alien.
Awesome. There's only 2 Alien films. There's only 2 Terminator films. There's only 1 Matrix film. There's only 1.
Yeah,
there's only 3 Indiana Jones films. That's just the way you got to move forward. There's only 1 RoboCop. I kind of like RoboCop too. It's silly.
Yeah. So, it's sort of gonna, for me, it's a meh. But I'm all about the bucket, the popcorn bucket.
Hey,
dude, the buckets. Look, there are several different ones.
That's my favorite thing out of Hollywood is popcorn buckets. I got that Wolverine one that you got.
Yeah,
I got that.
The Wolverine, got the Deadpool one, Deadpool baby Deadpool here. I'm gonna give that to my daughter. I'm gonna give that. She loves Deadpool. But the alien buckets are amazing.
So 10 out of 10 on the popcorn bucket, 4 out of 10 on the movie. That's what you're saying.
I will say 4 out of 10 on the movie.
Okay.
I don't know where you'll land on it, but
we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, but the popcorn buckets for Alien, dude, they look amazing. So
here's a few of them.
Yeah, that's AMC.
What's Regal?
Regal is that one is amazing, but it's weird. If you turn it the other way, it looks like
That's the Regal one. I like the Regal one. Oh, that one.
I see it. I see it.
Lights up.
The light up one. Where's that?
This one here.
No, what's
that one is cool.
No, the light. Stop right there.
That's Regal, right?
That's
there.
Regal. Oh shit! I'm going to I go to a quiet theater though.
They literally.
You're going on day one. It's
on day one.
Fine.
Well, I'll have to get there.
That is cool.
I'm going to the first show, so.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
That's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool. I like the alien head one too. All right, we're going to get soups. We're going to get soups. We're on a time limit today because I have a dental appointment. We kind of went long. So let's go. Let's get this done.
All right, cool.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Go get some coffee. Wild Elf for 4 parts for $30. Please don't hate me for what I'm going to say about MacGuffin plots on Streamlabs. Hating a MacGuffin plot is a trend for over a decade now, but it's invalid since the journey is the destination. That applies to any movies. The filling matters, like how do protagonists overcome conflicts and reach the destination. There is so many plot mechanics that are as repetitive as a MacGuffin, but no one cares about Godzilla -1. Hating the MacGuffin is a nonsensical habit, in my opinion. Just like at Lord of the Rings. Oh, don't go that Lord of the Rings is a MacGuffin. The Ring is a power. The Ring is not a MacGuffin. It was there to start a journey, but it actually turns into a character. And I think hating the MacGuffin started because of the smug critics in 2010 were posing as intellectuals. Those critics we dislike nowadays. A MacGuffin plot is not what makes a movie bad. It's the lack of competence to write the journey. So there is the term MacGuffin is there that, I really got pushed with Lucas and Spielberg talking about it. But yes, it's a term that was well before 2010. And I'll tell you right now, it's not about the MacGuffin. It's about the characters and the story and the execution. So you want it to be a nuanced, there is so little nuance with a lot of the shill criticism. So when you say MacGuffin, they just think, well, everything's a MacGuffin. We're going to discuss it as a MacGuffin, and we're not going to get into the nuance of the of the argument, which is, was this a well-executed movie? Did we follow this thing or object or with a map or whatever with compelling characters? And did they make the MacGuffin make sense within the story? Like the MacGuffin in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery was fucking retarded. Was retarded. The Ring is it is the linchpin of the entire arc in Lord of the Rings. It actually has major effects on the characters, anybody who holds it, and a major effect on its world. It's not just a simple thing to chase around as an excuse to fill time. That's why we don't like mystery box, because the term mystery box is a mystery unfolding. Now, not all mystery box is bad. It's a term that's been put on Jar Jar Abrams' work, but there's a lot of mystery box movies that are really good because we cared about the characters, and the mystery box term is for an empty box at the end. Basically, the movie Ronin. Remember the movie Ronin? You don't, X-Ray Girl, but remember the Robert De Niro movie Ronin? I hated the ending. A lot of people liked it. I fucking hated it. But I liked the mystery box in Pulp Fiction quite a bit because there was some lore surrounding it that you could think about. So that's the nuance. I think you're talking about unnuanced discussion and film criticism, which I agree with on the shill side. They just go, I really like it, and you're a racist if you don't. People are sick of that shit all day long. Curly Bob 17 for 50. Shout out to my best friend who lost his dad a few weeks ago. Shout out. Sorry about losing your father. We both love your work, but he especially loves the Nooner. To take his mind off things, please say his nickname in as many funny accents as possible. Dustin, the blood of Vortex. Dustin of the blood of Vortex. What kind of blood, Dustin? Dustin. It's the only accent I really do. The Hollywood Reporter accent. Thank you, Dustin. Sorry about that, buddy. Patrick C. for $49.99. Even the music in the trailer, Rings of Power, like every other AI-generated Marvel or Star Wars garbage that's come out recently, they care more about the how gay the characters are than the small details that made these franchises special. Exactly. It's like, we don't need the costume to be accurate, but man, who does this character fuck?
Right. So dumb.
Noons for $184.99 Arab Emirate pesos. Still waiting for the mouth of Sauron to appear in a penis in his mouth. Hail Nooner. That's season 3. That's season 3. Photoluminescent for $5 says, Chris, in Alien Romulus, did the bad CGI on the legacy character's face take you out of the movie like it did for me? I'm guessing yes.
He's seen it. He's seen it.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. It was so bad. It was like a cheap fake, not a deep fake. So so that person who asked that question has seen the movie. And that it took me right out. It was, they should not have done it. Should not have done it. You will, Gary, you'll probably laugh. You'll probably laugh.
Quantum Sledgehammer for $9.99. I've been showing my 17-year-old nephew some great movies of our Gen X youth he's never seen. We watched Alien, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Monty Python. He loved them all. Great fun. Still lots to go. Oh, I'm doing, my son's older now, so I'm showing him the more sophisticated hardcore stuff. He watched heavy metal yesterday for the first time. Freaking loved it.
Oh.
He was so inspired. Like, he went straight to his room and started drawing. And I'm like, that's what movies are supposed to do. Inspire you.
Earth. Oh my God. There's nudity in that movie too.
Yeah, there's boobs. There's boobs all over the place. What I didn't know is great soundtrack, by the way. Blue Oyster Cult did a song called Veteran of the Psychic Wars. That song spoke to me because to me, it was about drug addiction and Don't Let These Shakes Go On. It was co-written by Michael Moorcock, creator of Elric. So Michael Moorcock, the fantasy writer, co-wrote the song for Blue Oyster Cult in heavy metal.
Did Devo had a song Working in a Coal Mine?
Yes.
That?
Yeah, that was the end credits.
Yeah,
Lord, I am so tired. How long can this go on?
Yes. Oh, I love that soundtrack. I had it. It's awesome.
I didn't know that. I'm watching the credits. I'm like, holy shit. What? Zach Muffin for $5. Dadcast travel tip. In addition to the normal car kit, clothes, flare, jack, etc., have a roll of paper towel, air freshener, and rehydration kit. Yes. Oh, we have all that stuff. I travel well. I travel well.
And that foil blanket.
Yep. Diego Salazar for 3,000 Argentinian pesos. That's what I have done with Rings of Power. Each season, a new story arc of the Second Age, a time skip with new... That's what I would have done. That's what he meant. A time skip with new characters, some recurring. Likewise, a First Age show, each season surrounding the events of each of the 6 battles. But thanks to the current day bullshit, I hope they never adapt it. They won't. God, there's a First Age trailer out there that's AI, but it's still fucking better than anything. It's got like Henry Cavill in it. It's really good. An Aquaman abuser of Streamlabs for $10. X-Ray Girl may have glasses on, but she doesn't have her hair in a bun. That means she can't take off her glasses, undo her bun, and shake her hair out in slow motion. Real missed opportunity. Hashtag do better. That's for Mark.
You can do that in slow motion.
You can do it.
You pretend. You pretend. You go.
Can I say with
see like that?
With those glasses on, you look like a scientist. You look like a scientist.
Yeah, like a typical. You look like yes. You look like the computer. You're in the computer room of a typical procedural on CBS.
Yeah,
right.
You're a scientist.
My parents would be proud.
Like the Asian girl in Bones. Was she Asian? She was Asian. The one who got murdered in the first season of Yellowstone.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, she was always sitting down. Like I don't know if she was always sitting down for the first couple seasons. So. Drake Timbershaft for $10. Go to Legoland instead. They're opening theme parks around the country. They are family friendly, safe for children, and their merchandise promotes creativity. My dad was instrumental in helping get Legoland to Carlsbad, California. He was part of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, nice. And there was half of the old Californians who didn't want anything ever built there ever. Which I mean, fast forward to today, kind of agree with them. But Pops and a few other business owners in the area thought it would be really good for business and help push hard for it. So, yeah. Supreme Chancellor Trump for $1. The corrupt Jedi don't want me in office, Yoda. Little guy, kind of green. Maybe he's sick. I don't know. Kiadi Mundi doesn't even know when he was born. Petty Padme is the worst of all. Total loser. Let her whole planet get taken. Let's get her out. John the Beard for 5 Chilean pesos. First, I care about big fat beards. Second, X-Ray Girl is hot. Third, Chris is the sexiest man alive.
I'll take it.
Dang.
My beard's not like we trimmed it way down. My wife trimmed it way down.
Right.
JG for $9.99. Gary, last week you said you hate too much grain on physical release of older movies. Grain is a key part of the film aesthetic. I understand that. I said too much. Oh, go watch Fistful of Dollars, 4K.
They lean into it too much.
Lean into it way too much. Do you prefer transfers like the one we got with Aliens and True Lies? Go watch Fistful of Dollars, JG. That's what I'm talking about. Film grain is part of this experience, but like when you're watching it on a digital projector, a pretty expensive one, and I don't know what went into the process of the Fistful of Dollars in particular, but it's fucking ridiculous. Like it's like, ugh. No, that's not how it looked in the theater. Okay. There's a 35 millimeter scan going around and like, this is what Batman looked like in the theater. Bullshit. You could see his face in the theater. And maybe it's the difference between seeing it on a computer screen and seeing it projected on the screen. But when he's kind of hiding his face, right, from Vicky Vale, and it's just fucking black. I'm like, no, you could see the bottom part of his face in the theater. Some of these kids just didn't see it in the theater. Okay. But as far as grain, no, I don't prefer James Cameron's point of view. I think it should be that's part of what I like about vinyl. I like a little pop here and there, but I'm not going to listen to vinyl and I don't want it amped up, the scratches and the pops amped up either. I want it done right. There's a great video out there about Lawrence of Arabia's transfer and why it looks so fucking beautiful. Go watch it. That's what I want. I want time.
That's in theaters now.
Yeah.
By the way, Fathom Events.
So what they're doing is they're using AI instead of people to transfer the 4K. And it's like, honestly, you're better off watching it on Blu-ray at this point. The 4K isn't really 4K for one. It's too compressed and they overgrain some shit. Now, I didn't say I don't want it smooth at all, but again, fistful of dollars it's really disappointing. Really disappointing. Zach Muffin for $2, calling it now. Alien movie is a dumpster fire.
I don't know, dumpster fire. It's just like this. You'll have the same reaction to the apes that you did to the apes movie. It's just like, and parts of it you'll probably hate. My prediction, knowing you.
King of Moorland for €5. Hey, Gary, check out the AI made Lord of the Rings 80s trailer to see what we could have had. It's on Drinkers X feed. I've already seen it. Looks pretty cool. Proc Chop McFatty for $10.
That's a typo. Pork chop.
Pork Chop McFatty.
I like Proc Chop.
I like Proc Chop. Howdy, gang. Gary, I took your advice on the FF4 232 issue and bought it yesterday, 9.2 grade. Can you suggest a good starter for Superman issue? By the way, if you haven't, you need to put your comic book knowledge in video series. Thanks again. Well, God, that would be trying to put it in order. That would be very difficult. I would start, again, if you want to start somewhere cheap, I would go with Man of Steel. That's another John Byrne thing. Start with Man of Steel from the 80s, and then you can get those for cheap.
God, I bought that when it first came out.
Yep.
All of those. It was actually really cool to see the story retold.
Yep.
I kind of enjoyed
and
it.
that, blossoms into much later on, Dan Jurgens' run, and it's just really good. Really, really good. Bill Kane for $10. They could have had Kang. They could have made Kang a threat if they made it the One with Jet Li, where whenever one is destroyed, the rest get stronger until you get to Kang Prime. They could have, but they didn't. Gary, why does Elrond look like Jonah Hill? Super bad. I don't know. McCampia, you fan? MC Campia, you fan? TJ Jordan for $5. Before I head off to work, just wanted to say thank you both, Gary and Mr. Gore, for all that you do. Hell, thank you. Thank you. Discuss thing for $10. I'll just say, is there, he is the one that holds the storm of the tempest inside Galadriel. I know, that's fucking terrible. For the honor of Shad, the era of AI entertainment has begun. With these prompts, shall we conquer Hollywood? Whether they like it or not, they can't fight it. Whether you like AI or not, it's here. It's here to stay, and it will be just like the human race, good and bad. White Knight Leo, thank you for the $5. Matthew Hammond for $5. Continuing from my member chat, Disney is trying to get the wrongful death lawsuit dismissed because of a D+ subscription. We covered that. Navarine for €5. Theoden's speech in front of Pelennor Fields gives me goosebumps just by thinking about it, even if it is Alex Jones' voices. It does for me too. The Grizzly for $2. Disney is worse than Wayland Yutani. Yes. That's why I love Amazon and Disney making movies and shows that are anti-corporate. When you're the bad guy. You're the fucking bad guy. Danny Tapman for $5. The fact that Craven gets his powers from a lion bite, are we that unimaginative? My God. Need more imagination, connoisseurs. Also, fuck Disney and the arbitration of D+ bullshit. I agree. Yeah. I agree. We didn't get to the Craven trailer. It's there's a rhino There's a rhino in it, apparently, in the movie. Rhinos in the movie.
There could be like a cool story with all the villains' origins and how they, that could be, but one character, it's just, I don't think there's enough there to care.
Kraven is supposed to be like the Ra's al Ghul of Spider-Man. That's what he's supposed to be, essentially. He's a villain with purpose.
Yeah. It's like all the Batman series where Batman isn't in it. Like no one asked for Pennyworth,
I know.
Like,
oh God.
It's so dumb.
So yeah, this partnership with Marvel I think it definitely saved Spider-Man. I think Sony would have made it just fucking 1,000 times worse. But they're gonna pull out at some point. Like Sony's like, why do we do this? The minute there becomes a problem. We'll see. Travis AM for $5. Don't forget the 2-year-old boy from 2016 who was eaten by an alligator. Covered that up one with no lawsuit. I don't know what happened after that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Hi, King Feanor, Alpha Chad of Middle Earth for $5. That trailer was an abortion. Hope you guys are well. I am well, and it was an abortion. Like, what the fuck is Guy Ladriel doing in a cage? Is she in Mordor? Like, what the? Like, they don't even care anymore. Like pointing out the lore inaccuracies might take too much time, but I will spend it. I will take the time to do it. And I'm prepping. I'm doing my prep because my memory, Chris, we're around the same age. My memory, not what it used to be. Okay. Not what it used to be. I think we could honestly say we've forgotten more stuff than a lot of these people know, and it'd be correct. But, I just like to have refreshers. I like to prepare, preparation. It's a great part of content creation. And it's also an excuse to reread the Silmarillion, reread the Lord of the Rings, which I've already started doing in preparation for the show. So I do get some enjoyment out of it quite a bit, actually. Like prepping for the Alien Romulus. I get to see Alien and Aliens. Okay. It's fun. Clank, I'm a tank for $5. Sue for the exact amount Alex Jones was ordered to pay. Then buy a board seat and pick over the husk of the park's lost soul. Well, that's the problem Disney's going to run into is their newer shit doesn't have the cultural impact as Walt Disney's stuff. So you're going to be going to the park for Inside Out 2, which was a massive hit, but it has no real cultural impact. And it's just a thing. It's just a sequel. And what drives people to parks is your experience, and walking into the Ministry of Magic. That's going to mean a lot to a lot of people, and that's going to drive a lot of customers. And that's not even counting Nintendo, which is bigger. So yeah, Universal's poised to be some very, very serious competition, and I'm glad for it. And it's not like they're like a good company. They just don't like get involved. They haven't Disney would have gotten rid of J.K. Rowling. They would have gotten rid of her. They would have stricken her name off of everything. Universal has not. There's your difference. Some Ordinary Gooner for $4.99. Are we really supposed to feel bad that Susan died after everything she did to censor good people while protecting pedos on the platform? As a human, I don't wish death on anybody. Even people I vehemently disagree with. I don't dance on graves. I think in the grand scheme of the universe for karma, I think that's just a really bad move.
I agree 100%.
Classless. Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's tragic. Like, her life was tragic. Yes, it's tragic that she took this wonderful free speech mechanism and ground it in the dirt, ruined lives with her snap decisions, didn't give a shit about content creators' health. That's all true, and you could always bring that up. But like, I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not going to say I'm glad somebody's dead. Just not.
Yeah.
It's not how I roll.
And
It's not how I was brought up. It's not how I was taught.
the biggest thing is the hurt that other people have with the loss of that life. So if you trash them, you're hurting other people as well. That never really had anything to do with the YouTube part. So I
Yeah.
think it's very classless to do that.
Yeah. So I'm not going to I like when people ask me, I would talk about it, but I wasn't going to put an RIP Susan out there or anything. I just oh, that sucks. Which is more thought than she would have put into any of you or me or any big YouTuber if they died.
But I will say real quick on her and her position, there is across the board a sort of lack of taking seriousness what your position means. I'm talking about people in positions of power in government or at corporations aren't taking what they do seriously enough and how they impact lives. And I'm seeing that across the board, sort of cavalier attitude to what their seriousness is. That's why I admire Elon Musk, as much as he likes to joke about things. I think he takes his position on free speech very seriously. And I love that he stands up and gives a big middle finger to the EU when they're threatening to arrest him. So across the board, these people don't take seriously. They have to make decisions that the position requires them to that may not align with how they personally feel. I don't give an F how you feel. That's a thing that's really affecting society in a big way negatively, is people using their feelings to make decisions. Doesn't matter sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
requires you to make a certain decision.
Her son,
that doesn't align with how you feel.
Her son was watching Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And it bothered her. So that probably had something to do with her yanking him. And her son then died of a fentanyl overdose, and then hopefully, she thinks about a lot of the people that she helped support, put into power, made that happen. We have the fentanyl epidemic is pushed by the major drug companies, supported by largely Democrat progressive politicians in California in particular, who are allowing these open porous borders and letting China manufacture this shit and have it pour into our fucking country. But what spawned the whole thing was Pfizer and all the other drug companies that got everybody hooked on Vicodin and Oxy and made it readily available, and were paying off fucking doctors and knew it was highly, highly addictive. And then they took it away. And yes, everybody should get treatment, but if you take something away, then people are going to go to the street. And heroin, tough to get, expensive. They made a cheaper version that's way more deadly now. And we have a zombie apocalypse problem in all of our major cities.
Yep.
And it was because of the power structures supporting each other to make this happen. They could stop this. They could slow it down. You can't stop it, but they could slow it down by just shutting down that fucking border. War and drugs has always been a joke, always will be a joke. It was the war for drugs. That's for Forbidden Frontier. We'll talk about the CIA's. I'll happily talk about the CIA's involvement in pumping drugs into our country all day long. And going to meetings, I've seen what happens. I've seen countless young people not return to meetings because they OD'd and died. So yeah, I've seen it firsthand. I've been a part of it. And so that's what when people don't think about that, when the CEOs get in these billionaires get in their little fucking games and they play these games of power, they don't give a fuck about us. They could. Gavin Newsom just cleaned up all the fucking homeless encampments. He could have done that any time over the last 7 or 8, however long he's fucking been in power now. But going back to being mayor of San Francisco, we're talking 20 years he's had the power to do that and didn't. But now he's doing it in election year. Fuck all these people. Rudy for $5. They say some people make more dollars than cents, but now Hollywood doesn't make either. Well said. Well said. And we'll get a couple more in, and then we'll get the rest on the next show. So could you save the rest for the next show, X-Ray Girl? I apologize for that, but I have to go get my teeth cleaned. So, Andre CR for 2,500 Chilean pesos. It would be funny if someone sends Guy Ladriel to the kitchen and she makes some lambus bread. That would. Somebody put a recipe on Twitter last night, and we're going to try to make it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lambus bread, actually?
Yeah. Melissa's going to make some lambus bread. Zach Muffin for $2. The precursor to lambus, Lesbo bread. Get it right. Lesbo bread.
You get the yeast from scissoring.
How the Rings of Power should have been written from Tolkien, untangled, what you can do just with appendices and unfinished tales. You could do so much, and they didn't. They made up characters. But at least X-Ray Girl is going to make this season, because we have the first Asian elf, female Asian elf.
Dr. X-Ray Girl with those
Dr.
glasses.
X-Ray Girl.
Ooh.
Yes.
Alan will be
X-Ray
so
Girl.
happy.
She's
I
the
play doctor.
she's the official mathematician for Aregia.
There you go.
An Aquaman, abuser of Streamlabs for $5. They repurposed the Hobbit films by putting Guy Ladriel in a cage surrounding by orcs. Oh, they did. They did. Well, yes. Instead of Gandalf. Have they no shame? No, they don't. They absolutely did. You're right. Sam for $1.99. Rings of Power is my favorite comedy. Yeah, I mean, Acolyte was pretty funny too. Sergeant Curtis Schultz for $1.99. Hello, neighbor. Hello. New for LA Olympics, women's boner sword fighting.
Oh, God.
Will, yum. That was good. Jason Yankovic for $5. The sequel to Rings of Power, Better Call Sauron. Sauron. Better Call Sauron. Oh, that's good. Well done. That's good. Green Jack for $5. No, proper money. British pounds. The Harfoots have all the charm of a bad acid trip at a farmer's market. And the stores look like just as trash. My review is doing well at 4,000 views so far. Well done.
Nice.
Well done. I could do a trailer review. It depends on how bad. Maybe I'll think about it. Or maybe, you know what? Perry, well, he doesn't have time. But maybe later on he'll cut this out and put it on Nerdrotic Daily. But he's very, very busy working on my next video right now. Should be out tomorrow. Bretica 6 for $5. On a positive note, Gary, you've got to check out the Curious TV Hive Primus radio pilot. It's like Monty Python meets 40K. Do it now if you can. I will check it out. We will check it out. How much? All right, we'll do one more. I got through as many as I could. Sorry. B. Quinner for $5. Side question concerning a better adaptation of written works. Game of Thrones, are the books worth reading when we know George probably won't finish them? No, at this point, no. I've read them and I don't regret reading them. But if you thought that the cliffhanger for House of the Dragon season 2 was bad, Wins a Winner leaves you with major blue balls. Like major blue balls. And it's been 13 years. And it all ends on cliffhanger. Fucking Jon Snow, from he's just bleeding out at Castle Black. That's where it ends. Daenerys ends up in the Dothraki Sea, surrounded by Dothraki. The Battle of Meereen hasn't even happened yet. Like, it's all cliffhangers. Like, everybody's going to battle. It's about to all happen. And by the way, there was chapters where it does happen that he saved for the next book. Now the sample chapters are out there, and you can read them or have them read to you on YouTube, which gives you a little bit, like with Theon and Stannis. That's really good in The Forsaken. But no, it's a fucking cliffhanger. It's horrible. That's it. Okay, we got to wrap it up.
Cool.
Chris, what do you got coming up?
Hollywood on the Rocks with the great Ing the Merciless. I'll talk more about Alien Romulus and tons of news.
Nice.
So there you go. I'll be in at 1 p.m. Pacific.
X-Ray Girl.
Extra Girl everywhere, but I just wanted to shout out the art contest is coming to a close this Friday. So if you are wanting to possibly be in Gary's book, his biography, that's coming out, just send nerdroticart@gmail.com 3 images of Gary happy, angry, and confused by Friday night, midnight at midnight. So yeah.
Thank you, Dr. X-Ray Girl.
Thank you, Dr. X-Ray Girl. And we will get to the rest of the soups next week, next Wednesday. She's got them saved. I apologize, but my dental appointment's in 10 minutes. Luckily, it's very close. So working on a video. It'll be out tomorrow. It's a kind of a big picture Hollywood video. Haven't done one of those in a while. So,
Nice.
yeah. And then Alien Romulus and who knows, maybe a Rings of Power trailer reaction. I don't know, though. We'll see. But lots of stuff to do. Friday Night Tights, do we know what we have yet?
Look, I can't stay that long, but I can
2
be on
hours.
the show. Maybe. I got plans, Friday night plans.
Okay.
But I was hoping to listen to FNT. I enjoy it every week, never miss it.
You can
Every
listen
Friday.
after.
But
I
guess I'll be
prescribe
on.
that you're in the show. You have to do it now.
Okay, doctor.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
I have to do what my doctor says. Oh my gosh.
You do.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, Nooner on the Green app tomorrow.
11 a.m. Central.
We're going to do it at, we'll do it 11. 11's good.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Catch y'all later.
Bye,
Later.
everyone.